Hi guys, welcome to my channel Lush Gardener. I hope you guys are fine and are safe. So I quickly wanted to give you an example of a papercrete pot. Now you can talk about papercrete pot or an earthen pot. Now these are papercrete pot. Now all of this three pots, they were wet in rain yesterday. It rained a little bit. So I wanted to quickly show you what happens over here. Now this is a plastic container. You can see it's not quite deep, probably half an inch, maybe half an inch. But if I'm going to show you this a little bit closer, you can see the soil is wet. It's not dried because it's a plastic container. But even this same pot, all three of them were in the same position. They all received rain. It didn't rain a lot, but a little bit, good enough to wet the soil. And you can see this is my papercrete pot, and you can see the soil is all dry in this because it has absorbed all of that moisture, and you can see it's already very dry. This is why I love papercrete pots, earthen pots, the same thing, because they tend to absorb moisture from the soil. And you can see all of the soil is completely dry, even though they had received the same type of rain. This soil is very moist. You can see it's still very moist. And the same thing goes with this one. This one is also my papercrete pot, and you can see the soil is completely dry even after they received the rain. And that's what I love about these papercrete pots, or even for that matter earthen pots, because they all are porous. And you can see the soil is completely, now I'm not able to show you too much because it's crowded, and this is all the soil mix that I can show you how dry it is. You can see it's completely dry. All of these three pots are in open. There is a good amount of air circulation, but you can see the soil in the plastic container, even though the plastic container is really small. Now I'm not much worried because these are all pups, so they will do quite well. But now if it's going to rain again, I am going to keep this pot away. In fact, all of these pots I'm going to keep them away from rain because they've already received the water. But you can see what a perfect example. Plastic is non-porous material. It tends to retain moisture, and whereas the papercrete pots, they are absorbing all the excess moisture from the soil, making or helping the soil dry faster. So if you have a question related with which pot should you go with a plastic or a earthen pot, I think an earthen pot is going to work out much better in all given point of time. So guys, I hope that this will clear your confusion whether you want to select a plastic pot or an earthen pot. Any pot that is porous is going to work out really well. Again, it completely depends upon your environment and climate. For me, earthen pots tend to work out really well because, as I said, it tends to rain almost 5 to 6 months a year. So for me, keeping the soil dry is more important. So for me, the earthen pots or the terracotta concrete pots tend to work out really well compared to plastic. But again, I tend to use plastic pots mostly for the pups or the new growth, or for leaf propagation. I tend to use plastic pots. But ideally for adult succulents or medium-sized succulents, I always opt for a material of pot that is more porous and that is breathable. So guys, I hope that you liked this video. If you did, please hit the like button. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe, and keep planting.